Hello everyone. Today we will be doing a UNIX lab. We will be using the applications of Terminal and FileZilla. So if you need to download FileZilla, log into your Lawlima account, go to the ICS 101 tab, go down to Software, and then you can find FileZilla right here. So before we start, there should also be some lab files in your lab content. It will be this lunchbox.zip folder right here. So once you download that, bring the zip folder to your desktop. And first, as always, we want to unzip the folder. So to do that on PC, make sure you right click, and then there should be an option to unzip. However, if you're on Mac, you can simply just double click and the Mac computer will automatically unzip the folder and put it on your desktop. So now we want to open FileZilla, go to your applications or go to the search bar on a PC, look for it. We can just hit close on this. And now we are going to connect to UH's server. So to do so, in the host, you want to type in unix.hawaii.edu. Next, you want to type in your UH username, same username you used in Lawlima. For your password, you want to type in your UH password. Sorry, I typed in that wrong. Let me just do it again. And then finally, you want to type in port 22 and hit Quick Connect. And as you see, it should say that the connection is successful. Now, to start, we want to find our lab file that we had. So, most likely be on desktop. Or it's right here on Lunchbox. This is our local site. And this is the remote site that we want to move it to. So first, you want to grab the lunchbox and you just want to drag it over here. And you want to make sure you don't put it in a folder or anything. You just want to make sure you can drag it over. Probably better to do it down here where there's a blank spot. As you can see, Lunchbox appears now on our remote site. So now we're going to go to Terminal. You want to open up Terminal. On Mac, you can go to your Launchpad, open up Terminal. Now we can begin organizing our files. First, we have to connect to UH's shell. So to do so, you're going to type in SSH UH or your UH username at uhnix.hawaii.edu. Press enter. Next, you will see it will prompt you for your password. So you want to type in your password, and you will notice that your password will not appear while you type it. So after you type it in, you hit enter, and you should get this pop-up saying that you successfully connected to the shell. So first we want to create a backup script to basically record everything we do on this terminal site. So to do so, our first command is going to be, you're going to type out script, and then we'll name it your name. So I'll put my name, script underscore UNIX lab.txt. Then hit enter. And now it should say script started. So first, we're going to go into our files. To view everything in our account, we want to hit ls. As you can see, that lunchbox, those lunchbox files are there. If we want to get into our lunchbox directory, we're going to hit cd and then type lunchbox. Now you can see we are in our lunchbox. So when we're going into a directory, we use the cd command. So all we need to do here is type cd space and then lunchbox. It is case sensitive, so we want to make sure the L in lunchbox is capitalized and that the actual word is spelled correctly. And then you just hit enter, and then now you're in your lunchbox directory. So we want to see what is in the directory. And the command for that is ls enter. So now you should see what's inside of our lunchbox. We got beverages, a fork, some fruit, napkins, and a sandwich. And as you can see, beverages, fruit, and sandwich are blue, while fork and napkins are more like pink, reddish, whatever color. And this means that beverages, fruit, and sandwich is a directory, while fork and napkins are files. So we want to first change the name of a file. So this fork image, if you viewed it before we opened up, if you viewed it in this folder over here, you would notice that this fork is actually a knife. And we want a knife so that we can use it to cut our sandwich. So we want to classify that fork is actually a knife. So we want to rename this fork.jpg. So to do so, you will use the mv command. To start off, you type off mv and then the current name of a file. So it's fork.jpg. Hit a space, and now we want to rename it. So to do so, we'll type knife.jpg. Hit enter. Then we can hit ls to check. And now we can see that it is renamed as knife.jpg. So now we want to move the knife and napkins into the sandwich directory because we want to use these while we're making our sandwich. Now, you might think that mv sounds more like a move command rather than a rename command. Well, it is. So, because we need fork and napkins to eat our sandwich, we'll move it into the sandwich directory. To do so, we will type mv knife.jpg and then classify where we want to move it. So sandwich, enter, and we will do the same thing with our napkins. And then hit enter again. ls, we can see that it is no longer there. But now we are going to go into our sandwich directory and see if the files have moved. So to do so, we will do cd sandwich, enter. Now, as you can see, we are in our sandwich directory. And then we will hit ls once again to view everything in our sandwich directory. As you can see, knife has moved in as well as napkins. But you can notice that there are way too many pickles, and it makes it hard to look through everything in our sandwich. So we want to organize our pickles into a single folder, and to do so we want to create a directory inside of a directory. The command for that is mkdir, and then we want to actually name our directory. And so there's, as you can see, there's 8 pickles, so we're going to call this directory 8pickle. Hit enter. ls. Now we can see that there is an 8pickle directory inside of our sandwich directory. So now we want to move all of the pickles into the 8 pickle directory. And we could move them one at a time using the simple mv command. However, that would be pretty tedious. So we are going to use a command called the wildcard. It is an asterisk, but first we're going to put mv for move, pickle, and then asterisk. And then we want to classify where we're putting this, so we will type 8 pickle, which is the directory we want to move it in, and hit enter. ls, see that all the pickles have moved into our directory. The asterisk here is what we call a wildcard. If you put it on the end of the word you just typed, so instead of pickle 1, pickle 2, pickle 3, we just did pickle and asterisk, it will select everything that starts with the word pickle, and then it will move it into whatever directory or file you decide to move it to. So now we want to check to see that the pickles have moved into the directory, so we will do cd 8 pickle. Now we're in our pickle directory, as you can see, and hit ls, and look, all of our pickles have moved into our 8 pickle directory. To get out of a directory, we will do cd period dot dot. Make sure there's space between the cd and the double periods to take us back into our sandwich directory. And then we want to go back into our lunchbox, so we will do cd dot dot again. Now we are back in our lunchbox directory. We will first hit ls. Now this is what all we have in our lunchbox. And so now we're going to move into our fruit directory. So the command for that is cd and then fruit. We are in a fruit directory. We will hit ls. As you can see, we have an issue. Our questions.txt file is inside of our fruit directory. We do not want it there. It's not supposed to be there. So we're going to move our questions.txt file out of the directory. So which command do you think we should use? I'll give you a second to think about it. The command we should use is move. This is the move command. So you'll type mb. What comes after that? Well, like we've been doing earlier, it's the file name. So we will type in questions.txt and then hit period afterwards to move it outwards. Just like we were moving out of our directories with cd period, we are going to move questions out with period at the end. Now hit enter. Now we want to check to make sure that it moved out of the directory, so we'll hit cd period, then move out of the fruit, back in our lunchbox, hit ls. As you can see, questions.txt is moved out of our fruit directory and is now in our lunchbox, or is now just in the general lunchbox. So now, if you notice while we were in our fruit directory, there was a green fruit directory inside of the fruit directory. If you want to go directly into that directory without having to do cd fruit and then cd green fruit, you can just type cd fruit / quotation green fruit close quotation enter. As you can see, we went into our fruit and then green fruit with one command. To do this, we use the / to move into a directory within a directory. And it is important to note that green fruit has spaces in between green and fruit, so we need to use these quotations, the quotation marks around it. So now we are inside our green fruit directory. We're going to hit ls, see what's inside. We have apple and a grape. Well, obviously, apple is not a green fruit, so we want to remove that file from the green fruit directory. So, to remove it, we will use the use the rm command to delete our apple from the folder. So we will type in rm apple.png, keeping in mind that it is case sensitive. And then we will hit ls to view everything, and as you can see, apple was deleted. So now let's move out of our folder, cd space dot dot again. We are back in our fruit directory. ls. So apple was removed, but we don't really want green fruit in general because we already have a banana and that's all we need for lunch today. So why do we want our green fruit? So we're going to try to get rid of our green fruit directory. To remove a directory within a file, you need to use a recursive R option on top of the remove command. So we want to remove green fruit, so we're going to type in rm, it's a dash, capital R, and then in quotations, green fruit, keeping in mind the case, and then enter. So, as we can see right now, we had to do quotation marks because there's a space in between green or fruit, and we added on a recursive R option to actually remove a directory. So we're going to do ls to check. Now, as you can see in our fruit directory, we only have a banana now because we not only removed apple, we also removed green fruit in general and all the files inside of the green fruit directory. So now we want to go back to our root directory. To do so, just hit cd, and we'll use something called a tilde. So you want to do, it's on the left side of your keyboard. You want to do shift, and then right below the escape is this little wave figure. You want to hit that and then enter, and as you can see, we went back from fruit to lunchbox to Enverso in one command. It's very useful. Say we were all the way in green fruit and we needed to go back, you could just do cd and then tilde rather than cd dot dot cd dot dot cd dot dot. So now we'll hit ls. We can see everything in. We want to go back into our lunchbox, so cd lunchbox, enter. Now we're back in lunchbox. And now we're going to hit ls one more time, and now we actually want to answer these questions that we removed earlier. So if you want to actually display the questions, hit cat questions.txt. Now we can see we have some questions right here. You want to copy these questions all the way up to others. You can just drag your mouse over, Command C, the copy. And now we want to answer these questions in a answers.txt file. So we want to actually create a file, a text file within our terminal. To do so, you type in pico and then the name of the file you want it to be. So answers.txt, enter. As you can see, it brings you into a text file within terminal. So now we will paste those questions, Command V. We are going to just answer these questions really quick. I will give you guys some time. I will answer the first two because I want you guys to really think about the last two. So what is your favorite beverage at lunch? For me, it's chocolate milk. And somewhat challenging, controversial question is a hot dog a sandwich? Well, yes, it is. Because it is a piece of meat between bread. Sorry if that is controversial for you guys, but I believe a hot dog is a sandwich. Now, I will leave you guys some time to answer the final two questions. What does the wildcard command do? We used it earlier. And what does 754 permissions mean for the user, group, and others? You will learn about that through Dr. Ogawa, as well as your lab, your in-person lab. And so you should have a little grasp of it here, but we are going to go over it later in this video, just in case you need to come back to this text file. So, to save and close, we want to do Control O. We want to hit Enter to name it answers.txt, and we want to exit now and hit Control X. Now we are out of our file. And we want to check the context and make sure it's saved. So we will hit cat answers.txt, enter. And now we can see it will display the new content inside of our answers.txt file. So, now our lunchbox is pretty organized. We want to change the permissions of who can view these files, who can read these files, who can write on these files. So we were going to do something called changing mod permissions. So first, I will pull up this little document. So, when you're on terminal and you hit, well, first we'll go back to our root directory. You do cd tilde again. Then we will do ls-l. It is more detailed than ls. Instead, ls just shows you the files like we could see over here. ls.l actually shows the permissions. The permissions are all listed right here for all of our files. And as you can see, our lunchbox file right here, we have some permissions over here. So, permissions are a little difficult to explain, but this first letter means directory. So this is our directory, is our lunchbox directory. And it is followed by a sequence of 9 letters right here. The first 3 letters are for the user, the owner of the actual files and documents. So we are the owner in this instance. The next 3 right here is the group. So maybe like the group of students. And then finally, we have others in the final 3 sequence. And these could just be random other people. So these letters actually mean something. So as an owner, we can read, write, and execute as seen right here. Read, write, execute, which is why we have RWX. The group only has reading and executing, not writing permissions, hence there's a dash. And finally, the other people also have reading and executing, but do not have writing as seen with the dash in the middle to drown out the W. And so, to help out, these actually have values to it. So the R is worth 4, the W is worth 2, and the X is worth 1. So for our lunchbox, we can see we have RWX, which means it's a value of 7. Gmod value of 7. These people only have the R and the X, so 5 and 5. So right now, our permissions are set at 755. We want to actually change that to a 754 because we do not want other people have any ability to execute on these files. So, I will now display how we can do that. So, going back to our terminal. Back on our terminal. Oops, sorry. Going back on our terminal. We want to change our permissions. So, To do so, we go onto our main folder. Make sure you're not in Lunchbox. I was trying to do it earlier, and I realized I was in the Lunchbox directory. You do not want to be in your Lunchbox directory. You want to be on your root directory, so just your username. You can hit LS, see that you have everything here, and then to change the permission, you want to type chmod cursive R 754 because we want to change the Lunchbox directory from 755 to 754 for permissions, and then you type in Lunchbox. And now we want to display the changes. We hit ls-l again. As you can see, this Lunchbox, which used to have reading, writing, execute, reading, executing, and reading, executing, now does not have executing for the others group. So finally, we want to submit our log session. First, we're going to log out. To do so, we're going to hit log out. Sometimes that does not work, so you use exit. And as you see, it says the script is done. And the file is right here, saved just as that. Next, we're going to go to Edit, select all, Command copy, or you can go to Edit, copy, and now we want to open up a notepad. We want to open up a text file. So whether you're on PC or you're on Mac, you want to go to your applications and open up Notepad or Text Edit. Open up a text file and just paste your scripts into here. And you want to name this, you want to rename this as your name. So my name, log underscore UNIX dot txt. It should be on your desktop. And now we want to get the actual script from UNIX. So to do so, you will go to UNIX. We'll go back on FileZilla. We will first click refresh to see if we're still connected. Always good to do that. You should see that our script appears right here. And we want to drag our script to the left side. And as you can see, it appears on my desktop. Has our script. We're going to rename that. Well, it seems like it's already named, but make sure it's renamed your name scripts underscore UNIX lab.txt. And then finally, for submission, you're going to drag it into the email or digital Dropbox, the file submission, most likely an email, and send both this file and this file to your TA. So that was a basic overview of UNIX and how to rearrange folders. Thank you for rearranging the lunchbox with me today. It is much more organized now, and now we can go to school and eat our lunch. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you again.